Morning all. Wednesday the 6th of December. Decent card at Lingfield today, so I thought I'd do a video. I've not done one for a long time. I don't plan on doing any on a regular basis or anything like that. But as I thought it was a decent card today and I had a little bit of time on my hands, I thought I'd do a video. There's only really one bet, to be totally honest, but there's a few decent, interesting races. So for anyone who's interested, let's say. So first race, 11:30 at Lingfield, early start this morning. I thought Grenham Bay should be winning this really. I think he's probably proven a little bit disappointed that he's still hanging around in these kind of Class 5 handicaps. Running to a well-handicapped horse last time. Not a bet, certainly at 6-4, 7-4, whatever he is, but should be winning that one today. 12 o'clock, again, this is a no-bet race. It's a very competitive nursery. Bazball is certainly knocking on the door, I think, at the minute. I think he's been crying out for a little bit of a step up in trip. It's going up actually to 7 here. I was thinking 6 might be more what he wants, but it's a relatively easy 7. I don't think the trip of 7 furlongs will be a problem there today. It's not a race I want to get involved with, to be honest, but I thought 8-1, or he's around about that mark. I thought he'll probably run well off the top weight there today and go close. I think the race I am most interested in today, though, is probably the best race on the card, the 135 Fillies handicap. Good race this. I think there's a horse in there who is overpriced actually a little bit. When I went through this race, I thought Julia Augusta should be favourite. I had it as 3-1 favourite, so I have backed it today. I think 4-1 is a very fair price. I look at this race, there's 3 or 4 I struggled to fancy. I think Raceday doesn't look particularly well handicapped up the top, although it's a useful horse. I'd be surprised if Prenup was quite good enough. Bint Aldarlock's a progressive type, but she's going up in class here, should I say. And Rosa Chinese says probably similar marks for that one, doesn't look to be quite up to this level. I get the interest in the Whispering Words for Godolphin for sure. Was a little bit unlucky last time. Don't think it would have won. There's probably not a huge amount between her and Queen Regent on that run. Although you would think Whispering Words, a bit clearer one, probably would have beat her. I just think she's too short. I don't think her form is at the form of Julia Augusta so far, and I think the step up to trip for Julia Augusta being by Ulysses. There's middle distance from the dam side as well going back. I think it should appreciate this step up to 10 furlongs, and I think that run last time out behind Choicea, although they went a decent clip that day, probably favoured horses we were slightly held up, so I think you could mark up Choicea's win on that occasion, but I just think Julia Augusta going up to 10 furlongs here is the one who I thought should be favourite at 3-1, so I'm more than happy to get involved at 4-1. Queen Regent's interesting back on the all-weather. I thought she should have won last time though, really. Bit surprised she got picked up that day. Probably needs to step up a little bit here. But it wouldn't surprise me if she went close, and Oh So Grand is a likely race 1. Certainly she seems progressive. Again, I just don't think her form's quite at the level of Julia Augusta and Whispering Words here. So that's my one bet today, really, Julia Augusta in that race there. And then 210. 210's a good little race as well. I think Aratus is probably the one to take some beating here. I had it in at about 11-4, 5-2. I think it's a little bit shorter now. It's not one I'd want to be getting involved with, to be honest, because I don't think it's 100% trustworthy. There's no guarantees the hood will have a positive effect second time round. But having said that, it's got the best form in here, or best current form in here, and I think it's the one to beat. Documenting starting to get to a bit of a biggish price at around 9-1, but I'm just not sure it's quite in the same form it was 12-18 months ago. I actually fancied it a couple of runs back at Wolverhampton when it came 6, and it disappointed me a little bit that day. I thought it should have gone closer, but yeah, I expect Aratus to win, but not a horse I have backed. And then good race over at Kempton tonight. If I could just find the time of it again, is it 7 o'clock? No, 7:30. Sorry, I'm just looking on my other laptop. Yeah, good listed event race. I thought this was quite a tight little race, to be honest. I had positive impact at the favourite around about the 3-1 mark. I think it's got too short now. I think it won well last time, and it's obviously got a really good profile on the all-weather, but it did get a bit of a soft lead out in front last time. I still think it probably is rated. I think it's around about, it was about a performance of 100 horse, and he's on 102 here, although it is a listed event. Elmer Beard's interesting, first time on the all weather, but the dam has produced some decent all weather horses. Majestic Pride, again, I can see why people would be interested in that, but again, I'm not sure that I think a couple of these Godolphin horses are being backed on being Godolphin horses. I liked the run where it would beat Holguin, who's a useful animal, but then when the fourth behind Should Have Been a Ring, I thought it was a little bit disappointing that day, to be honest. It wouldn't surprise me if it won, because obviously it's been off the track a while. I'm sure it's got more improvement to come for sure, but this is quite a difficult kind of little race for it here. So yeah, as I say, I fancy Positive Impact. I think it will probably be the one to win the race here today, but I wouldn't want to play anything less than 3-1 personally, because as I say, I do think it's quite a tight race, and you've also got horses in here like Tempest and Gray's Monument who like to go from the front as well, so probably not going to get the easy lead it had last time. So again, I'm quite happy to go no bet in that race. So yeah, I thought I'd just do a really quick kind of preview of the day's action there. So for me, Julia Augusta's the one horse who I have bet today outright. I may get involved in possibly Positive Impact if it drifts back out to 3-1, 7-2, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen, to be honest. And even at that price, I think there's more than enough threats in there to make me want to leave it at that kind of price as well. So bit of an impromptu video. If anyone is interested, that's my kind of a selection for today. So good luck all. Might do some more in the future, might not committing to anything, but as and when anything drops, I'm sure you'll see it anyway. Alright, cheers, bye bye.